What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec, ZBCN today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? Yes, my videos were muted tonight. I'm going to try not to mention that in any more of them. It's frustrating, but whatever, man. You know, I got to do what I got to do. I want to start off this video the same way that I did start off the other one and just say, I thought that Zebec was a Canadian word. It sounds like, because like Quebec, Zebec, I don't know. I'm like, is it a Canadian origin, right? And I know that Crypto Future, shout out to Crypto Future, right? For talking about not for talking about Zebec, but mainly because I know he's Canadian, and it just made me think of him because I'm like, oh, is it a Canadian coin? Is that why? But then I looked it up. The term Zebec, often spelled this, is actually referring to a small, fast, three-masted sailing vessel historically used in the Mediterranean Sea, particularly by pirates and traders from the 16th and 19th centuries. Originated from Arabic, so not Canadian. This is not a Canadian coin. Maybe it is. I don't know, but more likely a Middle Eastern coin, I suppose, or a Mediterranean coin at that. But hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe. Let's get into this. Enough of the semantics, okay? Looks like what you've done here is you've moved up a good bit. You're forming some kind of a bull flag now. If you don't like that, it's at least some form of consolidation at the top. It is possible you could pull back lower, and I actually have a suspicion that you do. But it is completely possible you break out to the upside as well. And I suppose if you want to look for the breakout to the upside, the target area that you need to get above would be about 0.00184. If you can get above 0.00184, okay, you're probably moving up, and you're not moving lower. But I will say here, being below your 236 like this, and being degressive, not progressive, on your Fibonacci retracement, it makes me think that you're going to go lower, and that's my expectation, right? If you look at the 4-hour RSI, we do have a downtrend in the RSI, right? Lower lows here, lower highs there. My expectation would be, and especially if you look at this thing from an all-time history perspective, if we go through and look at every single downtrend in this thing's existence, downtrend here ended in the oversold zone, downtrend here ended in the oversold zone. You have a downtrend here that ended in the oversold zone. You guessed it, this one too, oversold, downtrend right there, oversold. I hope it's obvious as to what I'm pointing at when I say downtrend. I can draw it for you, but like lower lows, lower highs, your downtrends, they end in the oversold zone. Okay, every single one of them in your existence has, and it's a short existence nonetheless, but I suspect, and it doesn't have to, generally speaking, downtrends on any time frame, 4-hour, daily, weekly, 1 hour, whatever, downtrends in the RSI, they don't end until you at least interact with the oversold zone, but you don't have to. It's possible, it's completely possible that you don't, and if you don't get oversold, that would only be because instead of going lower, you do break out to the upside, but I am under the impression that you go a little bit lower. That is my thoughts. So if you're going to go lower from here, where are you going to go? From a low here to a high there, you've bounced off your 382, phenomenal bounce, right? You actually literally bounced right off and got above your 236, but you rejected your 236. You rejected your 236 twice. It's not guaranteed to happen, and sometimes in bullish scenarios you don't, but when you bounce off your 382 and you reject your 236 twice, almost always you go to your golden ratio. So that's the call. That's what I'm going to make. 1.1, is that 0.00113, sorry, 0.0011363 to 0.001. Somewhere in that area is what I would expect. Now, I will say, even though it's what's normal with the 236, it is possible, especially with crypto, that you could find support at the 0.5 or even just above the 0.5. It's completely possible. You have previous areas of resistance here. It's kind of odd to me that you would be, you broke out, you're finding support at this prior area of resistance. It's kind of odd to me that you'd break back down. But ZBCN, Zebec, it's got a low market cap, $115 million. Low market cap stuff, the rules are less rigid, they're more flexible. So you don't really have to hold this, or maybe if you slip, you can come right back up, something like that. Or perhaps that's not the area of resistance to watch for. Maybe it's more of like this area of resistance to watch for, maybe these were the slips and now we're going back to the solid area of support. I don't know, but something around, I would say, what was that target area? 0.001 to 0.0011363, somewhere in that zone is what I'm expecting. At a minimum, I would think 0.0012827 is where you're going to go. And then from there, yes, I think you're going to move up. Absolutely, I do. I think ZBCN is a long ways away from its all-time highs. It's got a lot of work to do to, sorry, that's not what I meant to draw. A lot of work to do to go up higher. That's not the right words. a lot of work to do on its path higher. It's not going to have a lot of work to do to get higher. I think it's going to go higher in a matter of no time at all. And by the way, actually on this notion right here, from a high to a low, very common to go from your golden ratio to your 382, and your 382 is basically right in that zone that we're expecting. Okay, if you wick a little bit below it, it's not a big deal, I promise you. You could go to your 236 though. That's less common, but it could happen. I don't think you do. I think that this thing, as short of an existence as it's had, because it's only been around for less than a year now, what you've done for most of your time has accumulate. And I think it's clear as to if it was accumulation or distribution, because if it was distribution, you'd probably slip. If it's accumulation, you'd probably rip, and you got the rip. So and right up to your golden ratio, an area that you should expect to find resistance at. Whenever it comes to moving higher, if you go to the area that I expect you're going to, it's very common to go from the golden ratio to the 382 and then up to the 786, 886 area. I don't think that you stop there forever, but I do think that you make a pit stop there, right? Something around 0.0024 to 0.0028 is probably what you have to look forward to over the coming weeks, not over the coming days, right? Over the coming days, probably a little bit lower. Maybe even over just the next 3 days. Who knows, man? In 1 week, you could be up at this area. If not in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the most. I think you'll be there. Going into the end of March, I suspect that you will see targets that are above this high, if not around this high. And continuing into the end of March, going into April, I suspect you will see prices at about half a cent to maybe even as high as 0.009. Okay, let's see, from this current price. Yeah, I think half a cent is a good given minimum, because the average coin is going to move up about this much. But ZBCN, remember, it's not going to move up this much. It's going to go down first. You're actually going to probably move up about 300%, which makes sense. We expect this thing to outperform the average coin in the crypto markets, so that would be an above average move from the low. If we move up, of course, if you don't like that, right, there are targets that are higher, and just because you don't like it doesn't mean it has to happen. But 326% from the current price is, to me, a more likely target than this 0.005195 target is. 0.0065, I like that as a minimum target, truthfully. 326% away from here. Oftentimes with the 1414, you do wick a little bit through it, so don't be surprised if you go through the 1414. It doesn't mean that you're going to hit the 1618, but it is another target. To be completely fair, you could see a 485% growth in this thing by the end of March, or if not, sometime in early mid-April is what I would think. Okay, it is possible you could go higher. I don't know enough about this coin. I don't know enough about it at all. I think already assuming an above average move is giving it more credit than I should, just because, again, I don't know about it. But I do know, the technicals look good. You accumulated for most of your life. You're showing bullish outputs coming from that, which gives me the thought that your aspirations are more than just the minimum target. So I definitely do think you will outperform the average altcoin. We'll see how it goes, but also just the notion that you could stop at the 1272, because you have moved up so much already, like overall, right? You have moved up a lot already. So if you were to go and stop at the 1272, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? I fully expect ZBCN will see higher targets than anything we've gone over in this video by the end of the cycle. If we look at ZBCN right here, that's at about $113 million in market cap. You could see 100x in this thing. You could see a 500x in this thing. It could genuinely happen. A 100x from here would put you at about 15 cents. A 500x would put you at, what would that, 60 cents? Or no. It'd be 75 cents. It's possible ZBCN, you could even hit $1, though I don't think you hit $1, because that would probably be, if that's 1,000x, I think that would be 1,000x, and I don't think you see 1,000x. That's just getting crazy. There are coins that see 1,000x every cycle it happens, but no, I guess you could. I guess you could see $1. Maybe that's where you stop, man. I know it sounds crazy, guys. We're talking about a 600x here. I'm not saying that's where it goes. I want you to understand. I'm talking about it as a possibility. It's not where I think it goes. Just looking at the market cap, I think it has that capability. 100x from here would put it at about 100, or no, it would put it at about a, what would it be? That would put it, 100x from here would put it at about a $12 billion market cap. Let's say that. $12 billion market cap, 24, 48, what's the next one? 60. Yeah, it could definitely do, it could even do more than a 600x if it really wanted to, because a $60 billion market cap, while that is absurdly high, especially coming from 113 million, we've seen coins do that. We've seen it happen. And it's one or two coins, or maybe a handful of coins that do it in a cycle. Is this going to be one of them? Probably not. But it is a possibility to consider. If you don't think this thing can hit $1, You won't sell it at $1, even if it gets there, right? That's all I'm trying to say. Likely, you probably don't hit $1. I would think you probably stop around, 50 cents or lower, but this is just total guessing because we really don't have any information to build off of, right? All we have is this high and this low here, and that's not significant enough, not to me. So while yes, we could identify all the fib levels that we want to make sense, who's to say that we still respect these or regard these highly up here? We could regard other levels. I fully expect we would at least see a 100 and something X. I do think this thing will see a 100X. If it doesn't, I mean, the absolute bare minimum possibility, I suppose, would be a 16X from here, but I don't think you stop there, man. I really do think. I really think this thing has a lot of potential to go higher, but again, I don't know everything about it, so it's not fair of me to judge how much it can go. Could it do a 50X? Sure, that might be it. Could it do a 20X? Sure, that might be it. Could it do a 600X? No, it might do more. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. So all-time high predictions, all I can tell you is you're nowhere near them. Short-term price predictions, I can tell you it looks like you want to go lower. Again, I think you're going to go to 0.0011, 0.00125, 0.001 itself, somewhere in that area. Find support, move on up. Month of March, month of April is going to be good for you. I got nothing else to say. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Yes, you can hear me. Yes, the microphone is on. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.